Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
मोदी साहब बगैर परमिशन के वहां जाके नवाज शरीफ साहब को मिले, उन्होंने उनके साथ जप्फी डाली, तो क्या भाई उनको राष्ट्रभक्त नहीं मानोगे?
आपका यह व्यवहार अनुचित है कि आप अपने आप को प्रधानमंत्री के बराबर सोचे।
हम सरकार पूछना चाहते हैं कि क्या आप पाकिस्तान के साथ दोबारा बातचीत करने के पक्ष में हैं?
Good evening and welcome to Political Exchange. Our big focus today on Indo-Pak relations and the way forward. Can the SAARC process, which has been halted for the last 2 years ever since the Uri attack, be resumed now that there is a new Prime Minister in place in Pakistan? And today, Pakistan's new Prime Minister Imran Khan has called for a dialogue on Twitter. He said that India and Pakistan must resolve all differences. He went on to say that the best way to alleviate poverty and uplift the people of the subcontinent is to start talking and also trading. Prime Minister Modi, in his letter to Imran Khan on the 18th of this month, had said that India was committed to good neighbourly relations with Pakistan and pursuing constructive engagement. About the controversy around Sidhu's visit, sources tell CNBC TV18 that the former cricketer and Punjab minister had the clearance from the Ministry of External Affairs. So what is the larger picture here? Is India ready to start a dialogue? Can we remove trade barriers as a starting point? Let's take this forward with our guest. Azhar Laghari of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf will join us very shortly. We'll also be joined by political analyst Mateen Haider from Islamabad. We are joined right now by former diplomat Anil Trigunayat, Congress spokesperson Sanjay, Narendra Taneja of the BJP. Narendra Taneja, Imran Khan in his opening speech had said that if India takes one step, Pakistan is willing to take 2 steps. Over the last couple of days, Imran Khan has tried to make all the right noises by saying that his focus is on trade, on boosting the Pakistani economy, removing malnourishment and having good relations with India. Is India taking this positively? Does the BJP support a dialogue with Pakistan now?
No, you see, the Prime Minister sent him a congratulatory message. Prime Minister also called him and also said that, look, we are for constructive relationship with all our neighbors, including Pakistan. But the question is that, you know, Mr. Imran Khan has just taken over. It's not even 3 days. And we have to wait and see. You see, the point is that, you know, all that he's talking about, even before he took over, he has been talking of certain things. I mean, but we need to see whether he's able or is allowed to walk his talk. You see, the important area for us is, of course, trade is one, but the important area for us is that what do they do in terms of, you know, sending terrorists, exporting terrorism, and shutting down those terror factories, you know, in Pakistan. I think, you know, he needs to kind of take action, shut down all those terror factories first, stop export of terrorism, stop targeting our you know, innocent people, civilians, and our military personnel in Jammu and Kashmir, and at the same, as he said, you know, you know, it's very easy to talk. But he has just taken, we all know there are several power centers in Pakistan, but if he really wants peace with India, he wants peace and stability
a lot of
in the
sticking
entire
points.
region, he needs to walk his talk. So we will allow him time. Let's see what if he's allowed to walk the talk.
A lot of sticking points. He needs to walk the talk on trade, on terror. Remember, 2611 masterminds, Hafiz Saeed, Zakir Rahman Laghari, they move around freely, and one of them even tried to launch a political party. Anil Trigunayat, if I can put this question to you now, there was a lot of controversy, a big political controversy over Navjot Singh Sidhu's visit to Pakistan as a private citizen, hugging General Bajwa, talking to Imran Khan. A lot of questions were being raised, but we're getting to know from the Indian government that he had the political clearance from the highest level. So the government might say that this was a private visit, we don't have anything to do with it, but do you get a sense that India, the Ministry of External Affairs and the government is observing how things are panning out, how Pakistan is reacting, how much control does Imran Khan really have?
You see, firstly, we have to congratulate Pakistan itself for ensuring that there was a democratic transition. Secondly, Prime Minister Imran Khan, even before he took over, he has been talking about talks with India, dialogue with India, and India has never shied away from any dialogue. In fact, India has gone way ahead several times, several steps have been taken, but Pakistan has been retrogressive and aggressive in its approach all the time. I mean, you remember that in December when Prime Minister just cut short and went there to Nawaz Sharif's house, that was something very out of box and which was exceptionally good gesture on our part. But it was, retaliated by Pakistan through a Pathankot and whatever. So now nothing has happened on all those major issues that are of concern to us. But I'm very happy. Another CBM that we have done is Prime Minister spoke to Imran Khan on July 30th. He has written a letter on August 18th. In both of them, we have said we want constructive engagement because for India's progress also, it is essential that we have a quieter Pakistan, a progressive Pakistan, and virtually a prosperous Pakistan. And India has always tried to work that way with all its neighbors.
Okay.
I mean, as regards the terror is our biggest concern.
Sanjay Jha.
And if Pakistan is able to address it, and if Imran Khan...
Yeah, I'm going to come to the issue of terror as well. That's very important that will be a priority in Indo-Pak relations. But Sanjay Jha, if I can put this question to you, Congress and BJP almost disagree on each and every issue. But do you agree with the government and the BJP on this one, that if we need to initiate a dialogue with Pakistan now, then we must see Imran Khan walking the talk on trade, on terrorism, and also on the 26/11 trial?
Parikshit, with Pakistan, we have a historical, complex bilateral relationship. There are several variables. I agree with you completely that one very critical and probably the one that will be non-negotiable from the Indian standpoint will be the violent terror attacks across Indian borders, particularly what's been happening in Jammu and Kashmir and the international borders. I think the real challenge for both our countries is that when you get an opportunity to engage with each other, I think we should look very carefully at what those options mean. Now, you have at the moment a new democratically elected government. I know there are allegations that, that Mr. Imran Khan's government had a huge backing of the Pakistan army. Having said that, if there is, however, because of that itself, I mean, if there is a military endorsement of Imran Khan's diplomatic, shall we say, initiatives with India, then it does provide a window of opportunity. Now, obviously, there is no denying that these are going to be sensitive. I think India will be correct in saying that you cannot have a dialogue if you do not dismantle the terror infrastructure. Yet, at the same time, you will, and I think you should be smart enough to anticipate that Pakistan will raise the Kashmir issue. These are things that, have been the traditional, I would say, the kind of barriers in a more open discussion. So I think this is a moment for mature political and diplomatic, shall we say, handling.
Right. Mateen Haider, we've got spokespersons of the ruling party and opposition here on the panel, and both of them agree that Pakistan must act on the issue of trade. Remember, our trade is just about $2.28 billion. That was a 2016 figure. It must have gone down even further. Imports from Pakistan are even lower. When it comes to the issue of terror, we're still awaiting movement on the 26/11 trial. Do you think the new Prime Minister will act on these issues? Because be it the opposition, be it the ruling party, it seems that their priority is making sure that terrorism from Pakistan stops.
Yes, thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for definitely selecting this very interesting, very hot, and indeed very sensitive topic. So once you're talking about no trade between India and Pakistan, of course, it should be the top priority of both governments, particularly the new government in Pakistan, to definitely give boost to bilateral trade. So the bilateral trade is also definitely facing a number of hurdles. It needs to be negotiated. The traders and the business community should be facilitated. Of course, the new Prime Minister of Pakistan, through his tweet on Sindhu issue as well, and in response to the letter by the Indian Prime Minister, that letter was yesterday disclosed before the media by the new Foreign Minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi. that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has written a letter, and in which he has indicated or hinted at the resumption of dialogue. So it was hint, it was not a complete offer. So the way Indian media definitely played with that particular thing, it was very unfortunate. I think whatever is now we are witnessing at official level between India and Pakistan, between the two governments. Two governments looks very serious, very mature, and there is not a single negative word. Please let me finish. There is not a single negative word from the both New Delhi and Islamabad, from Islamabad, Mr. Khan. But Indian media is trying to destroy everything, whatever has been built in last 48 hours. On Sindhu issue, he was personal friend of Mr. Khan. He came to Islamabad and met Prime Minister Khan, attended the oath-taking ceremony. So if he was at the President's house, if he has met Pakistan's army chief, what's wrong in it? Right, so courtesy does demand that he has to definitely interact with number of guests over there. And talking of peace is not crime. This is what Sindhu says. This is what the Pakistani Prime Minister says. Yes.
Yeah, and you know, Mr. Mateen Haider, there are diplomats in India who feel that this is important, people-to-people contacts are important, but politically, Mr. Sidhu's visit has not gone down very well in India. But Mr. Trigunayat, if I can put this question to you, Mateen Haider, political analyst, was also talking about Imran Khan's priority as far as trade is concerned. Now, India-Pakistan trade has been very low over the last couple of years. We're yet to get the MFN status from Pakistan. The Vaga route for import of Pakistani goods is yet to be opened. So these are sticking points as far as our trade relationship is concerned. Mr. Trigunayat, do you feel that if Imran Khan is able to address the issue of trade, then that could give a window to Narendra Modi to start a dialogue with Pakistan?
Well, the trade is also there, but India's biggest concern has been the cross-border terrorism. And the people who are just extremists are moving around, and they have been part of the open narrative, which is what he has to control. And I think if the army is on his side, which is supposed to be backing him, then they should take care of it. And Pakistan also has suffered from them. Because as I say in our Sanskrit, the terrorist or terrorism is like Basmasur. It's going to burn down everyone. It's not going to leave Pakistan as well. So they have to take care of it. As far as trade is concerned, as you know, that most of our trade was not directly with Pakistan, but it has been going through Dubai and other countries. So it has been far more than $2 billion in any case. But this is, and like, for example, you mentioned about MFN status. Under the WTO rules, it is compulsory for every country to provide that status. Pakistan has not done that. If Imran Khan does it, then obviously it will be a good confidence-building measure. He has to come out on these things very clearly. I mean, I'm sure the initial statements are very positive, and they give a lot of hope at the moment. And as you know, in diplomacy, it's hope that's very important. And Prime Minister Modi has gone 2 steps ahead already in this, saying that we are ready for the constructive engagement. But then this has to be terror-free South Asia. So I'm not going back and forth on this, but it has to be a progress on all fronts. And then only things can move forward. And it is good for both the countries. That's what I feel.
All right. We'll request all our panelists, Mr. Mateen Haider, who's joining us from Pakistan, Mr. Trigunayat, Narendra, Taneja, Sanjay, to stay with us. We're taking a short break here on CNBC TV18. When we return, we'll take this discussion forward. All right. Welcome back to this discussion on India-Pakistan relations. Let me go across to our guests immediately. Mr. Narendra, Taneja, what is the view? Are you willing now to give the SAARC process a chance? Over the last 2 years, SAARC summit was not held. India had boycotted the SAARC summit. So did other nations after the Uri attack. Do you think this process can now be resumed? If tomorrow Pakistan wants to hold the SAARC summit in Islamabad, sends an invitation to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, are you of the view that the Indian government should accept the invite?
No, you see, I mean, we are committed to SAARC and the spirit of SAARC and the mission of SAARC. But you see, India and Pakistan are 2 very important members. Of course, Bangladesh, all countries are important. But you see, India is the largest player in terms of the size of the economy and so on and so forth. And now the question here is that, the new Prime Minister in Pakistan just taken over. We are not going to go only by words. We'll have to see his deeds, his actions, and also we need to understand that what exactly has got in mind. Let's not forget one thing. India is now $2.7 trillion economy, and Pakistan is still on a small economy, $280 billion or so. Now the question is that, of course, we would like to expand the trade, but there has to be conducive atmosphere. That how can you trade or expand trade with Pakistan when
conducive
in return what they give to us are bullets and
Taneja, I'm going to request you to hold on. We're getting a view now from the ruling party in Pakistan. Azhar Laghari, who's the head of public relations of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, is joining us on the phone from Karachi. Mr. Laghari, we want to ask you, how much of space will the new Prime Minister have? There has been this perception that the army had a role to play in bringing him to power. The army has dictated the foreign policy of Pakistan. How much room will Imran Khan have vis-a-vis India?
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for calling me in your show. And as far as your question is concerned, Army has a almost nil or negligible role in bringing anybody from last 10 years in Pakistan. Because Army is doing their job as they are prescribed in the Constitution of Pakistan. Imran Khan is a very popular leader in Pakistan. And you can see the greetings and the happiness all over the country. You can read the faces of people and they can tell you that he is our leader.
So, and, Mr. Laghari,
foreign policy, of course, foreign policy, you decide foreign policy. Yesterday, our foreign minister, Mr. Shahram Qureshi, was briefing media, and he categorically said that the foreign policy will be decided only in the Foreign Office.
Okay, that's an important point. But Mr. Laghari, the question that India would like to ask, and probably this is in the mind of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is how far is Imran Khan willing to talk on the issue of terror, reigning in the Lashkar-e-Toiba, reigning in Hafiz Saeed, Zakir Rahman, Laghari, and also moving forward on the 26/11 trial?
Well, you see, this is not just between the two governments. This is between the public of the two countries. We are sharing the same culture. We are sharing the same traditions. We were one country about 71 years ago. So obviously the bond is there. So we just have took over power just 2-3 days ago, and we have decided, the Prime Minister has just addressed to the nation 2 days ago, and he said that in his speech, that we will follow National Action Plan, which was decided about 2-3 years ago when General Rahil Sharif was in charge of the army, and he was given the task to enforce that National Action Plan. So we are going to enforce that National Action Plan, and no terrorism with any country, in the country, outside the country, in the region, is beneficial to Pakistan.
Okay.
Because terrorism doesn't help any nation.
All right, Mr. Laghari, I'll request you to hold on for a second. I'll also get in a word from the opposition party in India. Congress's Sanjay Jha is joining us, and Mr. Azhar, I'll request you to continue being with us. Sanjay Jha, do you think it is conducive for the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, to go ahead and initiate a dialogue with Imran Khan? Or do you think it should first begin at the level of foreign secretaries, at the level of NSAs? NSAs have already been talking in different parts of the world. Do you feel that it's right for Prime Minister Modi to begin a dialogue, or the atmosphere is not conducive? Sanjay Jha.
Well, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate him and the PTI for his success in the Pakistan elections. I don't think, Parikshit, we should take away from the fact that Pakistan has, despite a lot of cynicism and skepticism, had a smooth democratic transition. Now, the truth is that we should, however, have guarded optimism. I remember when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif won the mandate and he formed his government, there was a lot of buoyancy and optimism. But I think with both India and Pakistan, I think we need to always, start with setting a lower base of expectation. The past experience teaches us that our diplomatic initiatives from both sides have very often got stuck on, various issues, mostly uncontrollable and unplanned for. So I would say that at this point, one should be definitely welcoming Mr. Imran Khan as the Pakistan Prime Minister. He comes with a certain hope and expectation. I agree with what he said. He seems to be very popular in Pakistan. And that, I think, to some extent, gives him an opportunity here to speak as a representative of the larger, I would say, democratic establishment. However, in India, we have to be a little cautious because I think the dominating, overwhelming role of the Pakistan military cannot be undermined.
Take baby steps. That's what Sanjay Jha, the opposition, the leader of the opposition party, the Congress party in India, is saying. Mateen Haider, I'd like to ask you, what is the chatter that you're picking up from the ground? Imran Khan has been sworn in as the Prime Minister, new Prime Minister of Pakistan. He talks about austerity in politics, cutting down expenditures, focusing on the economy, the health, malnutrition in the country. Where do you think this is going in the next few days, and what level of engagement can we see with India in the weeks and months to come?
Yes, indeed, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, he spoke about human development in Pakistan, and instead of some political rhetoric, really he portrayed the real picture of Pakistan. He did talk about definitely foreign policy in his first address to the nation. And of course, in the days to come, there will be definitely dialogue between India and Pakistan. And the solution to all the issues between Pakistan and India lies through dialogue. If you're talking about terrorism, terrorism does take place in India as well. And if there are allegations of Pakistan's involvement, Pakistan has been denying this is not correct. Right, terrorism, as some of our friends said, it does take place everywhere in the world. So instead of blame game, Pakistan in the past have been asking India to share any credible evidence of any involvement of something like that. So Uri is a different thing. Then there have been definitely attack on Indian airbase, and then there have been number of stories even exposed by the Indian media. I think my final word is, I think the Indian media, the Indian electronic media, TV channels, newspapers should not blow the thing really, should not give setback to the things which get normalized. Right, so it's a good beginning. Prime Minister of Pakistan has made good words, and Indian Prime Minister has also made good words. I think let's hope and let's wait for the high-level meeting between two Prime Ministers. It is expected on the sidelines of UN General Assembly in New York. So if this meeting takes place, it will be definitely a new beginning between two countries.
We're running out of time. One final question to Anil Trigunayat. Mr. Trigunayat, we just have about 10 seconds. If you can tell us, if dialogue should begin, what level should the dialogue begin?
Yes, you are with me.
Both the leaders have already expressed the desire for constructive engagement or dialogue. That is the natural progression after this engagement. But definitely there are certain conditions. But I know that it will have to be at the level of officials first. It cannot be at the top level immediately because a lot of issues are to be sorted out. We have terrible baggage that is going on, and that needs to be addressed before the highest level engagement takes place. Let us see what happens at the UNGA and how because yesterday, as you know, Mr. Qureshi gave a speech about this media, and he spoke about we are atomic power and all that. Those kind of things are not going to go down well. So I think that I will look forward to UNGA statement of Pakistan, and I think from there the things would move forward.
Okay, so UNGA statement is something we should look forward to, and dialogue should begin at the level of officials. This is what this panel believes. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. We'd like to thank Mr. Mateen Haider for joining us from Islamabad.
You're not allowed me to speak.
Mr. Azhar, Mr. Taneja, I'm sorry. I've completely run out of time.
No, but you should have allowed me because they are all about, I am here the representative of the ruling party. You're not giving me any time. What's the point of having a debate?
Mr. Taneja, go ahead.
No, the point here is that...
Go ahead, Mr. Taneja.
Yeah, thank you very much for letting at least me to speak. Yeah. No, you should have given me some time also to speak. The point is that we have not proposed any talks with Pakistan. We have not proposed anything. So these reports in Pakistani media are misleading. Government of India has not proposed any talks at this stage. Now the thing is that Prime Minister has taken over. We have sent a message of congratulations and we wish him all the best. We will wait and watch, and things are going to take their normal course. In the meantime, if they can shut down the terror factories, I think that will help to create the right and conducive atmosphere.
All right, Mr. Taneja, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks to Sanjay, Anil Trigunayat, Azhar, Laghari and Mateen Haider as well.